Okay. Twitch, where are you? There. Okay, small test. I hope the sound is working now. Come on. Check. Am I back with sound on? Could you please confirm for me? Because apparently I'm an idiot for not noticing my sound didn't work. Check. I have no idea what was going on, but suddenly everything stopped and apparently my mic was on but didn't catch any sounds. It wasn't muted or anything. I have no idea. I'm not that tech savvy, and every time something goes wrong, I'm running to my husband in hopes he knows what I should do. And he also didn't know, so I had to ask Google, and I think I'm here. Mic levels say they hear something. Desktop audio is muted. Mic is on. I think I should just try again. But man, why did it have to be muted? I had quite the story to tell. I mean, I did tell it, but told it to my desk apparently. I hope I think it was interesting. So yeah, let's try again. What I was telling just half an hour earlier, or an hour, I don't know how long I've been trying to find the issue, doesn't matter. I was talking about the fact that I was planning to paint something else. Could you stop? Why is it so white? Better. Oh, right. I was planning to paint something else, but the company forgot to tell me that they weren't ready for sharing the image of the model just yet. Would have been nice to know that information beforehand, but my apologies. So I can't stream the paint job of that mini. It will have to wait. And because of that, I had to think of something else last minute. And this gorgeous mini was still waiting on my desk for some paint. He was already primed, so that's a nice bonus. I mean, there are quite some minis on my desk, but most of them aren't primed and probably very greasy from me constantly having them in my hands. So that wouldn't be an option to quickly prime and paint. So this is my only option, and I don't mind really because he's gorgeous. This is a print from a company that previously was known as Lord of the Prince. What was the new name again? Rescale Miniatures, I believe it was. Yeah, that was it. Terrible with names. Good evening, Aspire Painting. Quick question for you. Can you hear me? Because I was having some audio issues. And yes, that is a camo cat jacket. Camo kitty. I am quiet. I'm not quiet. Sounds are picking up quite nicely. I mean, you can hear me, right? So that's good. I was telling about this gorgeous mini. It's called Windglider. I printed him on my Anycubic Photo Mono 4K, I believe it is. It's quite the older model by now, but it's still working just fine. So I'm not going to replace it anytime soon. So please just keep working. Thank you. But yeah, I really like this model. It's very original. It's a desert type creature, and it has some super weird hooves. It looks like it would be a good digger for some weird reason, but maybe also for some rugged terrain like more mountainous areas inside that desert where he's supposed to be. And I really like his head tentacle thingies. They really look like they are gliding in the wind, as his name suggests. And his rider also has a nicely flapping coat. He's very, very far hidden into the tentacle. I will just call it tentacles. I don't know what to name them. But he's very nice hidden in between. I would think it would keep the sun out for him as well, which would be nice in the desert. He has some backpack stuff, all these very thin ropes. They printed amazingly. I'm still baffled by the details. But yeah, this creature is very unique and I love it. And with this mini, I wanted to try something new. I already mentioned that before with the microphone being on mute for some reason. But I have purchased some paints a couple of months ago by now. They are not acrylics, they are not oils, they are gouache paints. And I have seen people use them on Gundam models. So I was wondering if you can use them on Gundam models, why not on things like this? And the thing with gouache paint, where acrylic paints are, well, when they are dry, they are set in place. A gouache paint should be, how do you say that? Words are difficult. You can rework them. So if you have a moist brush, you can well, wake up the paint, so to say. So I was wondering, like, maybe I can make some amazing blends by just blocking the colors in and then using a moist brush and then making the transitions in between those colors. I have no idea if that will work. I'm a bit afraid the gray primer will peek through if I will thin it too far down. But there's only one way to find out if it works or not, and that's not to keep them any longer on my desk, still with the caps on, never opened them, never tried them, been here for months, but... So I'm going to use them tonight on this mini, and if it doesn't work, I have the files for this mini and many, many more because I got the entire team of this style mini. I can always print him again and try again with acrylics because he's absolutely amazing, and I want to paint him with acrylic paints or with the gouache paints. I don't care, as long as it gets color, I'm fine with that. But yeah, I've been looking at some pictures and some drawings and some digital art of desert style creatures, desert cities, desert D&D characters, you name it, everything with desert. And I really liked the warm colors, the terracotta, the yellows, the reds. Some of the works had a bit of blue inside of the shadows, with the orange light from the warm sands and the contrasting color of blue. Orange and blue are each other's opposites. So if you add a bit of blue inside that shadow, you will only enhance the contrast, like I have been using purple and yellow in most of my works. So yeah, I was thinking about doing that. Maybe just stick to the purple in the shadows, maybe add just the tiniest amounts of blue. Not quite sure, not even sure if this is going to work. I will figure it out. And looking at this creature, I was thinking starting with a light color, so a light yellow, nice and warm, going up to orange, and then maybe a terracotta or a red kind of pattern going all the way to his head, so maybe a bit here, some red speckles, some details. I'm not quite sure yet, but I like the idea of having some reds going over his back and the back of his neck, and just drawing a bit of more of attention towards his head. As for his tentacle flappy things, I was thinking to go for that same yellow as I was mentioning for his legs, but then go towards a white, like a white fabric flowing in the wind. Bit of that idea. And I mean, every color is suitable for something like this, but it's just, I always go with the idea I get in my mind when I look at the miniature. I always have this first idea that goes, that's it. And somehow it works. I don't know how I do it, but I make it work, probably. As for the rider, I would like to add some reds into his fabrics. Red, brown, probably light colors as well. And of course there are some leathery bits. I have multiple colors of brown, so I can make something of that. But yeah, I think first thing first, and that is the creature. And let's see if I can work this paint out, because I've got this basic set of Winsor and Newton, and I also added some extra colors. a purple and magenta, and also some skin tones, as it is quite the job to mix your own skin tones. At least I think so. I'm not this master artist who knows exactly how color theory works. I just do my thing and I know a thing or two. Oh, hello again. I'm glad my sound is working now. It was quite weird. The microphone was on, nothing was muted. The microphone just decided to not listen to me. Which is fine, but just let me know by shutting off the lights and such. And not suggest you're working. Anyway, I'm back with sound and visual for now. Please keep working. So yeah, let's mix some colors. These paints were quite expensive for my taste. I believe I've paid like, I don't want to lie, but I believe it was 85 euros total for this entire set. So I didn't get one of every available color, I just got the basic set and some extras I believed would be nice to add to the basics. So yeah, mixing the colors myself will be fun, I hope. So let's see if I want a red. Well, of course, that will be the red. So I'm going to add a bit of that to my wet palette. Ooh, that is a very nice red. Sweet. And this is literally the first time opening these things. Oh, it's terrible. Buying new things and then just putting them away on your desk. I think we've all done that, but it's a terrible thing. So also some yellow. If I want some orange tones, I will have to mix yellow and red. And I have the feeling I'm adding way too much to my palettes, but I'm just doing my thing and see if that works. Also some white, of course. And maybe this miniature will look very vibrant. Not really the thing I have in mind at the moment, but I'm just going to work with what is happening and might even surprise myself. Abteilung. I have never heard of that brand. Oh, by the way, these are not acrylic paints. You might have missed that bit of information just now. These are gouache paints. So a bit different. First time for me using them. And I'm just going to figure out if it works or not. So I have added red, yellow, white, black, purple. What do I need more? White and red for orange. Yellow and red for orange. A bit of white to lighten it up, black to darken it, including the purple. I believe that should be it. Alright, also a bit of that blue. Ah, it's an acrylic. I have never tried acrylic paints from a tube either. But I am very curious to how and even if this works. And it's so silly I've waited this long, but when something scares me, I'd like to be an ostrich and just stick my hand in my hand, head, head, stick my head into the sand and just pretend it isn't there, even though I have done research if I wanted to use them or not, and concluded that yes, I wanted to try them, went to the store, bought the paints, and put them away on my desk for months to catch dust. Logic. I have not attached the rider to the back of the creature, as I believe it would be nice and convenient to keep them separated from each other. Let's see if I can get him off, which would be nice. I don't want to break off any tentacles. Haha! Nailed it! So yeah, this is the creature itself. Very, very nice. Oh, I'm in love. And a bit of a close-up for Mr. Sandy Rider here. With his cloak and his covered face. It's some sort of a mask. Not sure if you can really see that. But I think he looks absolutely freaking cool. I love the flowy cloak. It really matches the rest of the model. But yeah, I'm going to focus on this pretty guy right here. Get myself a brush. And let's see if I can mix some colors for this beastie right here. So starting with a bit of yellow. But I want it to be a bit deserty yellow. Yellow and purple make brown, so maybe the tiniest amounts of purple. And then white. Bit more purple. I'm just trying some ideas I have about color theory, and I do make mistakes, but I'd like to try stuff like this, and that looks like it works. Okay, let's see. I'm just going to block in colors and hope for the best. I mean, that's how you work, right? Ooh, it does not catch onto the primer. That is weird. Would I need a different primer, perhaps? That is not what I expected. Maybe I've held it in my hands too often? Just going to try to work it in. Sometimes that works, not all the time, but I'm just trying something here, so just going to be stubborn. And I mean, there's the chance that you know more than me about this stuff. because I have no idea what gouache paints will do and how it's supposed to react, and I kind of figured it would be the same as acrylic paints, but maybe not the same. I'm talking bullshit here, I know. Maybe I should go for a matte base. I will try. I mean, after I finished putting this piece, or well, coloring it in is what I meant. Not sure what I was going for there. So weird. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I've just used the primer I always use for my acrylics. But like I said, I really have no idea what to expect from gouache. So I'm just trying what I do know. And it's drying quite fast. Not what I expected. So I'm just going to finish this leg right here. And then I will add a bit of matte varnish to another leg and see if that works better. Because again, I have no idea what to expect. I just had this idea and I wanted to try it, and well, here we are. Nice thing about this mini is that I can store it on its head. I mean, I should have looked into it about what kind of a primer gouache needs, but as I was planning to paint something else and had to change my plans last minute, I didn't really think about doing that. So I'm just going to add a bit of matte varnish. Just going to cover his entire leg. And I see there's still a bit of gouache paint on my brush, even though I rinsed it quite well. But it gives off the slightest yellow hues. Maybe I can work with that in future projects. I mean, I'm just learning here, trying things, see if they work or not. Of course, I hope they do. Camera, just behave. Thank you. And you know what, since I'm working with the varnish anyway, just cover the rest as well. Ooh, excuse me. I've been talking too much, I think. Is the microphone still working? It is. Okay, thank you. Camera 2. Yep. Keep it in front of the camera would be nice. It has been a while since I've tried something new. And I mean, it's always good to try new things and new ideas because you will always learn something. And sometimes the thing you learn is okay, that didn't work. But that's also very important because if you just keep on walking around with all these ideas in your head and you never try them, you don't get anywhere. So I have been trying ideas, just any random ideas I had, just try. And it has taught me a lot. And it's something I have to keep reminding myself of because sometimes you like to tell yourself like you didn't do anything for such a long time, but that's not true. I mean, thinking about color theories and thinking about how to layer stuff, how to combine the colors, um, just random thoughts about painting, it's all part of the learning process. And if you need a break, that's fine too. You don't have to be productive every day. And sometimes it's very nice to have a break from painting and then come back with some new, fresh ideas. I really hope this works. Maybe his head as well. And maybe it wasn't the primer, maybe it's just have been handling it too much because I really liked the model. I've been looking at it and keeping it in my hands, just thinking about color combinations and loving the piece for what it is. So maybe it was just my hand grease that messed this part up. I don't know. I'm curious. Will this do something? Ooh. So it does work. I do think that I will have to protect it with a varnish in between steps, like saving it, saving a digital drawing, just click on save. I think it would be the same with this piece, like every layer I want to preserve, hit it with a varnish and not a brush on varnish, because as you can see, that reactivates it, which can be very handy for the transitions. And that is exactly what I had in mind. Yeah, it's the only way I know it as well. But I have seen someone paint his Gundam miniatures with gouache. And I had this moment of, oh shit, so you can do it. I mean, if he can do it, why can't I? But yeah, I think it will work very nicely. I mean, if I'm going to block in the colors like I mentioned, I'm just trying something here. But if I'm going to block in the colors and then work the transitions in between them, I mean, that's a nice blend. Very interesting. I like that. But I have not mixed enough of that yellow. But I did figure out that I can make a more deserty color. I mean, this right here is the original yellow, which looks a bit greenish on top of a black glove, but that difference. So I made the yellow a bit more brown by adding a bit of purple, because if you mix opposites with each other, you get a brown shade. So if you will mix yellow and purple, you will get a brown. If you mix orange and blue, you will get a different kind of brown. If you add green to reds, you will get another different kind of brown. So these are things you can work with. So I took that yellow, added the tiniest bits of purple to make it a bit more brownish instead of vibrant yellow, and then added white because I wanted a light color to start with. So I'm going to do that again, but this time a bit more, as I did not make enough of that color. So yellow and white and a bit of purple. Let's see if I can get the same color again, which is always a interesting thing to do, mixing the same colors as you did before. But I think I managed to do that. And if it's not 100% the same, I don't mind. So, you're still not dry. Okay. Also, do you see that color transition in the leg? That's weird. Because I never touched the red with my brush. And it turns orange. Which I like, but why? I'm quickly going to hit it with the blow dryer because the varnish isn't dry yet. So cover your ears. I'm going to blow dry underneath the desk, but it's quite loud. 3, 2, 1. And I'm back. Hello, you. And yes, a color theory. Okay, let's see. Okay, that works better. Note to self. If you want to paint with gouache, start with a matte varnish. I mean, that's just on there immediately. The things you learn from trying. How far do I want this to go? Running in my flat to see from where is the sounds coming. It wasn't me. This still baffles me. The orange. Like, why? I mean, welcome, but why? Is it maybe a reaction to the varnish? I mean, that would be weird. Magic person? Where? I'm doing okay. I mean, I've been very busy lately, and that's always a bit scary, as it's the chance of triggering my chronic depression bullshit. But that is going pretty well. The only thing I had this week was Wednesday. I had this terrible tension headache, so I stayed home from work for a day, and it's still a bit sore, but I'm feeling fine besides that. So just taking it easy, no real plans for the weekend. Just relaxing and painting and trying new ideas like this silly thing. Like, can you gouache paint your miniatures? I think so. Have you ever tried gouache painting, Stefan? I mean, I've only tried acrylics, and this is different from acrylics. Oh, you've tried on paper? I've only seen people use it on paper, besides that one person who used it on his Gundam miniatures. So it would be nice to just find something that works as well. But you've tried multiple types of paint, right? So you've also worked with oils. That's something I've never tried either. Oils are slow. Yeah, that's why I haven't tried it. I don't want to wait any longer. I mean, I'm not that impatient, but I don't like to wait for it to dry. And oils are kinda known for that. So let me just skip the oils and just stick to acrylics and the occasional weird idea of gouache. And for some reason, it isn't sticking to these parts either. And holy shit, it's turning really orange now. What? I mean, does the camera even show that? See how orange that is on this leg? That's so weird. I've only thinned that with the matte varnish. There has been no red. I have not touched the red with my brush at all. It's just yellow, white, and a tiny bit of purple. So where is that orange coming from? Oh, here as well. Like why? Is it magic paint? It's doing its own thing. I mean, it is quite fascinating. Usually you add paint and you know what it will do. And you know how it will look like when it dries, and this paint is just living its own life. I like it. Crazy magics, yeah. I have no idea. But I want to say I really like how matte this is drying. I did not expect it to dry matte. I had in mind that it would be glossy or satin at most. But it is matte actually. And I'm covering the orange with some more yellow. No idea if that will work. I'm just trying some ideas. See if there's more magic to behold. Which is always welcome. More magic. And like I said, worst case scenario, it just really doesn't work. And I will try again with some acrylic paints. How far do I want this yellow? I mean, it's just the base color. The idea is to add shadows later on, because I really have no idea what to expect here. So just some base colors is a nice start, and see from there. But yeah, it's nice to try something new again. I've also purchased some new paints. I was running out of my normal colors, the ones I still had from my Greenstuffworld sponsorship. But since I'm not sponsored anymore, I figured when they are, or when I'm running out of those colors, I will replace them with a different brand. And I decided to go back to scale 75, as I had been working with those colors before and I really liked the matte finish. So I ordered a couple of basic colors. And there is that orange again. Why? But yeah, they arrived just before dinner. And unfortunately, they didn't have a basic green or blue at the moment. They were sold out. So I will have to get those at a later time. What? Notice this big chunk of text. Offer you promotion of your channel. Price is lower than any competitor. Yeah, no thank you. I don't do this for the money. I do this because I enjoy this. Anyway, let's get some orange, I think. Do I need more yellow? Ah, gosh darn, I don't know. How far do I want that yellow? I'm just going to make some orange. Some orange. Ooh, that's a nice orange. Mute it down a bit. Let's see. Fuck it. Going to start right here and then work my way down and see where I want the transition to be. I already told myself just enjoy making something colorful. I mean, I had this basic idea and now I'm just going to work with that idea as a start and see where it will end up. I don't know. Bit here as well. And here as well. I'm just going for it. I don't care. Kind of reminds me of a goldfish. I don't know if that's a good idea to make a desert type animal that will remind me of goldfish, but sure, why not? That's totally not weird. That's definitely not the same color. Come on, Linda. Blend better. Mix better. Yeah, I don't know. do think this is a better orange. Bit more muted. But I'm not even going to write down how I made it. Just gotta learn to look at a color and then just mix it. And if that doesn't work, try again. Yeah, that's completely different color. I'll get there. I mean, it's about having fun, right? Which I am totally having here. I do believe my colors are constantly changing here. Yep. Bit more red, perhaps. What is going on? Anyway. The creature with the 60 shades of orange. Ever seen that animal? Well, you can see it right here. At the Healer Paint Job stream. A rare sighting of an animal with 50 shades of orange. It's totally not weird. How do I paint this? Yeah, you like the 50 shades of orange? Well, I'm glad. Because I also have no idea what's going on here. Here as well. I mean, the color is so much more matte as I anticipated. It's so weird. Is my hair in the way? I'm sorry. I'm just going to paint his head orange as well. I mean, I still have in mind to go for those more red details. But why not just start with an orange base and add the red on top of that? Maybe that works better, maybe it won't. Maybe it will be another shade of orange. We will find out after the commercial. No, just kidding. That is a weird orange. Oh man, it's been such a long time since I've been just messy painting. And I love it. Just flick on some paint and see where it takes you. Maybe some spots here as well. I mean, it's a fantasy creature. It can have all the colors you want, including 50 Shades of Orange, 51. I like this side. This as well. Back leg. Oh, maybe just keep it in front of the camera. This side I like. Do I have more of that yellow? No, I don't. Okay, so it was yellow, bit of purple, bit of white, more purple, and more white. Something like that. Ooh, bit more purple. That's better. I do like the part where I now can start working on his pattern. It will become more of an animal instead of a canvas. Do have to be careful about touching the other colors with the brush, as I just touched some of that orange. Now my yellow isn't as yellow as it was before, so keep that in mind. But it does blend very nicely. I like that. It's been a while since I've been very enthusiastic about painting. It sounds weird, but sometimes it's just hobby becomes work without it actually being work. And you stop enjoying the small things you've been enjoying before. Maybe it's not too weird. Anyway, I have had that problem for quite a while by now. So to actually enjoy this is wonderful, yeah. So I've tainted my brush with that orange, and I'm going to use that now just to blend some of those colors while my brush is dirty. Well, dirty. A bit more orange. I do believe this is something I can learn to use in my paint jobs, and maybe not the entire mini, just use it for effects here and there. But I do think it's very interesting so far. Right, blend it here as well. Oh, that's lovely. One thing's for sure, he became way more colorful as I had in mind originally. Do I mind? Not really. I mean, it's not like I can paint him only once. I can print him and paint him as many times as I would like. Which is always very nice. Think of board. Very nice. Kind of reminds me of crackling paint. as if the desert is very dry. And I mean, that works. Whoops, almost dropped it. Right, more of that yellow because I wasn't done yet. Yeah, it really looks like it. And I do think you have to spray on a varnish to seal it in when you're satisfied with the results. But I mean, that's not a problem. And the blending was just the part that made me very interested in gouache paint. I mean, look at that. That's a wonderful blend. And I wasn't even really trying. Well, fuck. Yeah, I like it. You and me both. I'm absolutely very, very happy with this. Ooh, I made an oopsie. Um, I worked on that part a bit too much, and now the primer is peeking through. So yeah, definitely keep that in mind. Don't work that one spot too much. If you do, keep in mind that you can see the primer. Oops. But since it is blending this well, just cover it up again. And then bring back the blend. Maybe use a thicker layer. I mean, why not? And I somehow keep forgetting that I'm working on the yellow. Ah. I mean, I don't have... What's the name in English? HDHD in Dutch? Anyway. I don't have overworked brains like that, but maybe call it artistic brain? Or just call it being an idiot. It all works. I was about to ask, are you guys just as excited as I am? But maybe not as excited. And I ran out of yellow again. Yellow, white, bit of purple. Bit more whites. Turn him upside down for a bit, as I apparently have missed his entire belly. This is a bit hard to see with the long legs being that close by each other. Just poke that brush in there. Sorry about that. Trying to keep the blends the same everywhere, and apparently my yellow isn't the same color as it was before. So that's a part of his belly as well. Yeah, a friend of mine made herself a brush for painting around angles. She had broken off the tip of the brush and then glued it on in an angle so she could paint around an obstacle. It was funny to see, but also a bit painful. Poor brush. Oh. Touch the light switch. I think I have everything now. Looks like it. Let me try to get these blends a bit better. I was thinking like maybe add some more yellows in the deepest parts. I think it looks cool. Mm. From what I am noticing here, that it might work better to add the colors over each other and not just the primer underneath. Because if you layer the colors on top of each other, you can blend with each other without getting the primer to peek through. I mean, that's something I'm noticing here. Some spots the primer is saying hi, and I only want to see that primer once, and that's before I start the paint job. That's primer as well. I mean, I can always hide them later on with some spots, but it is nice to have a bit more control over what you're doing. I'm just randomly adding a bit more detail here and there, just to try to make it look more natural. I mean, as far as natural goes, of course, with colors like this. But hey, just let me act like this is a real animal. Have I mentioned already? I'm really enjoying this. Because I do. Weird little beastie. Do I have a bit of yellow left? Thank you. What? Stop it. I'm debating if I have enough of yellow on both sides. I think this can use a tiny bit more. Because I really like the yellow in the deepest parts. Okay. Going to add some reds now. Just adding a bit of red to that orange. I mean, he's starting to look like the sunset more. But I don't mind. Or maybe a crab. Desert crab. intense it really is, yeah. Am I going for a red head, perhaps? Fuck it. Red head it is. Oh, I haven't even added the matte varnish to that yet. And I also maybe should just focus on the skin first before I run out of that same color. It's very difficult to stay focused, apparently. There's some nice texture going on this animal here. So I'm kind of dry brushing, picking up that texture. Maybe the smallest bits here as well. Oh yeah, I like that. Just very, very subtle. Nice. What do you think about that? Just pulling the red a bit further? really notice how I'm enjoying this because I'm really getting into the zone and forget to talk to you guys. Sorry for the switching back and forth, but I'm trying to determine if it's about the same. Which I think it is. Whoops, that's primer again. I don't want primer. Go away. Quick question, because I'm terrible with translation from time to time. What is opacity again? Is opacity how well it covers? Was that it? That blends quite nicely. This blends. So the only thing I'm doing here with the blends is I'm going back in with that orange I used before the red and simply cover part of the red with it, and it blends just so wonderful. It's so effortless. It blends absolutely wonderful. And you have to be careful with um, how hard you press onto that brush, because you don't want to wipe off all the paint, but it blends so nice. Just what? um, Also, I'm not sure if I like the head being that color, but don't worry about it. I'm just trying stuff and see how it works, and just being baffled here, really. Um, so yeah, I'm just trying stuff. Don't even ask me why I did the things I'm doing, because I don't know. I'm just being a painter. There, that's enough. So yeah, I'm just going back and forth with these same colors. A bit of red here, a bit of orange there. Just adding some depth where I think I need more. And I do think that as soon as I am satisfied with the blends, that I'm going to spray some varnish over it to seal those layers in, because if I want to add the shadows and such on top of this, I will ruin probably everything I did here. So just seal it in and then add the shadows and whatever the fucks and it would be a shame to ruin everything I've done so far because I just really like this. Well, I mean that's why I try these ideas I have, just to inspire people to do weird stuff, I suppose. Just test out ideas and see if it works or not, I suppose. I think I've said that one too many times by now. Anyway. What do you suggest I do with the head? Am I going to treat it like a helmet or something? Maybe go for more of a complete different kind of color for the head. I mean, not the part that is peeking out from underneath. I like that to be the same colors with the reds and the orange. But maybe just this upper part with the tentacle thingies. I'm not too sure about that just yet. So if you have any suggestions, they are more than welcome. The idea I had in mind for him has been completely erased from my memory by now. As this is going into a complete different way as I had in mind before starting. Purple, wouldn't that become too fantasy? I mean, it is fantasy, but I want to keep it desert style. Going to quickly cover it with black because it messes with the idea I have and I cannot see through it. It's just a quick black. Maybe that will help finding an idea. Also, damn, that black is covering quite well. Sorry. Camera, what are you doing? Focus. added a bit of purple and black to the red. Kind of like that. Still reminds me of a crab. A sunset desert crab. I mean, why not? It's probably because of the yellow. Envision walking through the desert and this runs up to you. I would shit my pants. Yeah, the black is very heavy. It's mostly just to cover what I did before. But I kind of dig it. We'll see what I'm going to do with that. I mean, I have no idea what I'm doing. But who knows where it will end up. I'm currently at this point of I'm just trying some ideas. Not really sure where I'm going with this, but I don't mind. yeah, I don't know where I'm going at with the head. Um, I do notice I'm getting very tired and sitting very poorly. Yeah, there are cats on my jackets. It's cat camo. I got this ad on, I think it was Instagram, and it had cats and it had camo, and I had to have it. I mean, especially since I am a very proud cat mom and I play airsoft. So why not combine that and get cat camo? I think I'm going to leave it here. I mean, look at those blends. Oops, don't drop it. I mean, that is kinda what I expected, yet it completely is something else. Um, I had hoped the colors would transition into each other as nicely as they do, but somehow I didn't expect it to actually work. I mean, this is my first time using gouache paint, like at all. But yeah, I like it. I mean, especially that part, like that blend is just oh. Um, Still not sure about his head tentacle flappy thingies. I mean, it's deserts. What colors do you have in the desert? Like it's all yellow and red. Would it be a camouflage or would it be something to scare away predators? Or what is the purpose of his flappy tentacles? I mean, I think that's a big part of how should I paint it. Ooh, excuse me. I'm going to think about that for a bit and seal in the colors. Well, then maybe it's a good idea to just end the stream for today. It has been a nice amount of time, and I've been awake since 5 this morning. So, yeah, it's been good for today. So I'm going to take some pictures for Instagram and maybe ask around a bit. Like, what is the purpose of his flappy tentacles? If you have some ideas, you can send it to me through Instagram, if you please, or, well, Facebook is fine as well. Any theories about what kind of creature this is? What is his purpose besides being a mount at the moment? I'm sure there are some interesting theories about it. No problem. Thank you for watching me fiddle around with colors again, with new paints. Yeah, I think it was really interesting. I've learned things I wouldn't be able to learn if I just didn't try it. So yeah, again, tip of the day, try any weird idea you have. Never seen anyone do it, just try it. I mean, if you think it works. I mean, how many people have you seen painting with gouache on a miniature? I've seen one. Just one. And that's not me, just someone else. So yeah, if you have any weird ideas, just try it. Share your finds and see where it takes you. I mean, this was interesting. So before I stop. Okay, it's there already. I wanted to say before I start rambling, but I am already rambling. I'm going to wish you all a good night, a good rest of the day. Have fun with whatever you're going to do. And I will see you hopefully in the next stream on Sunday. And in the meantime, Facebook, Instagram, watch some videos on YouTube, do your thing, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.